So similar to 415, as we wrap up week 6 and get started in week 7, that means you are entering the over the halfway mark on this course for our summer stuff. So we want to look at a few things here. If you look long term in our course, we're really wrapping up the actual textbook stuff itself, and then we'll move into that our live review, etc., as we get closer to the end of the course. So for week 7, we're looking at change in teams, and this is, I think these two are really kind of the essence of what I was reading in your discussion boards for last week. So that team building thing is one of the things that many of you have mentioned several times about how when you're working with a really good charge nurse, how they promote teams, how they are constantly checking on their team, how they know what's going on with each member of their team. And I think when they do that habitually, it really fosters that team growth, so that, I think these chapters should maybe be switched, when there is change coming up, that you're more likely to get buy-in from your teammates because of that, what change needs to occur. Which leads me to, why do we have changes? Why do we need to make those changes? Well, a lot of them are dictated to us by administration. And usually when they're dictated to us by administration, there's a reason behind that. Maybe it's a financial reason. Maybe it's a change in what's available. Maybe it's a change in best practice to enhance patient outcomes. But for whatever reason, that need might have been dictated to us. Or sometimes if we start brainstorming from within, how can we do something better? We'll have change come from within our unit, which is a really cool way for that to happen when it happens organically, because we think something could be better handled by doing it this way. Perfect example of that was, I think, the first summer we taught these courses, we did it in 10 weeks, and that just wasn't enough time. So we were able to make that change to a 12-week pattern, because that's what seems to work best with students. So when you think about those changes, when you're looking at the data and what's the circumstances tell you, that's when it's really effective to make those changes. So how do you get buy-in for that? I'll be interested in reading your remarks this next week, kind of paying attention to any of those nuances of team development that you're seeing, and then also changes, and maybe ask your leader if change is needed for the unit, how is that change addressed? How do we get people on board with making a change so that we do it in a team-like fashion and not something that makes everybody angry that we're having to do a team? So see if you can ask your charge nurse that this week. Have a good one, and as always, holler if you need me.